Although biplanes were considered outdated by the time World War II began, they still played crucial roles in various military operations. These aircraft, characterized by their two wings stacked one above the other, were remnants of World War I design philosophy. By 1939, most nations had shifted to faster monoplanes, but biplanes continued to prove their worth in specific missions. Their simple construction, excellent maneuverability, and ability to operate from short runways made them suitable for reconnaissance, naval spotting, and ground attack. Countries like Britain, Italy, and the Soviet Union utilized biplanes effectively despite their slower speeds. The Fairey Swordfish, Gloucester Gladiator, and Fiat CR 42 are examples of biplanes that gained legendary reputations for their performance under difficult conditions. While modern aircraft dominated air superiority battles, biplanes' reliability and adaptability kept them in service throughout the conflict. The design of biplanes gave them unique aerodynamic advantages, especially at low speeds. Their two-wing configuration provided greater lift than monoplanes of similar size, allowing them to take off and land from shorter airstrips, an essential feature in wartime. This was especially useful for naval operations and missions in rough terrain where long runways were unavailable. The extra lift also made them more stable during slow-speed maneuvers, which was ideal for bombing, torpedo runs, and reconnaissance. Biplanes were generally made of lightweight materials such as wood and fabric, which simplified repairs and allowed damaged planes to return to flight quickly. While their open cockpits and lower top speeds seemed primitive, these features were advantageous in certain missions that required visibility and precise control. The simple mechanical systems also meant fewer breakdowns, which was invaluable during the harsh realities of wartime operations. One major reason for the continued use of biplanes in World War II was their reliability and ease of maintenance. Biplanes had fewer complex systems than newer aircraft, which made them easier to repair in the field. Mechanics could replace or fix parts quickly, often without needing advanced tools or facilities. Their wooden frames and fabric skins were inexpensive and could be patched up almost anywhere. In contrast, modern monoplanes with metal bodies required specialized workshops and equipment. The simplicity of the biplane's design also meant they were less likely to suffer from critical failures during flight. These advantages made biplanes ideal for nations with limited industrial capabilities or for operations in remote areas. Crews appreciated their dependability, and pilots trusted them to perform even under poor weather conditions. Biplanes played a vital role in naval warfare during World War II, especially in torpedo and reconnaissance missions. The British Fairey Swordfish, affectionately known as the stringbag, became famous for its effectiveness in maritime operations. Despite its slow speed, the Swordfish managed to sink or disable several German and Italian ships, including the battleship Bismarck. Its ability to fly low and steady made it ideal for torpedo runs, while its sturdy construction allowed it to operate from aircraft carriers in rough seas. The biplane's excellent handling also enabled it to take off from short carrier decks. Naval crews valued its versatility. It could carry bombs, depth charges, and flares depending on mission requirements. The Swordfish demonstrated that even an old-fashioned aircraft could change the course of naval battles through skillful use and tactical planning. Biplanes excelled in reconnaissance and patrol roles because of their slow speed and stability. These qualities allowed pilots to observe enemy movements, photograph targets, and spot submarines effectively. Aircraft such as the Soviet Polikarpov Po-2 and British Gloucester Gladiator often carried out scouting duties along coastlines and battlefields. Their ability to stay airborne for extended periods at low altitudes gave them an advantage in gathering detailed intelligence. The open cockpit design provided excellent visibility for pilots and observers. Furthermore, the relatively quiet engine noise compared to faster planes made them harder to detect from the ground. This allowed them to operate in areas where faster aircraft might have been spotted or shot down. Reconnaissance missions were crucial in planning attacks, and biplanes often provided the first visual confirmation of enemy positions. Biplanes were highly effective in close air support roles because of their precision and maneuverability. Their slower speeds allowed pilots to accurately target enemy positions, especially during ground attacks. The Polikarpov Po-2, used by the Soviet Union, became legendary in this role, particularly in the hands of the all-female Night Witches A Squadron. Flying low and dropping small bombs, they caused chaos and fear among German troops. The biplane's ability to operate from makeshift airfields near the front lines meant they could provide constant support to ground forces. Their simple construction allowed them to carry various payloads, including light bombs, rockets, and even supplies. While they were vulnerable to enemy fighters, their nighttime operations and low-altitude tactics minimized this risk. These missions showcased the biplane's adaptability in modern warfare. Biplanes were surprisingly effective for night missions due to their low speed, stability, and ease of control. During nighttime raids, these qualities made them ideal for stealth attacks. The Soviet Po-2 again became one of the most famous night bombers in history. The Night Witches would cut their engines near targets to glide silently before releasing their bombs. This psychological warfare had a massive effect on German troops, who nicknamed the aircraft the sewing machine because of its distinctive sound. The lightweight structure allowed biplanes to fly at low altitudes, avoiding radar and anti-aircraft fire. The use of biplanes in night operations demonstrated how older designs could be repurposed effectively for unconventional warfare, turning what seemed like weaknesses into tactical advantages. Another reason for biplanes' effectiveness in World War II was their adaptability. They could perform multiple roles: torpedo bomber, reconnaissance plane, trainer, or even ambulance aircraft. The British used the Swordfish for anti-submarine duties, while the Italians used the Fiat CR-42 as both a fighter and a ground attack plane. This versatility made biplanes valuable assets, especially when resources were limited. Their ability to operate from rough airstrips, carrier decks, or snowy fields allowed them to serve in diverse environments, from the Arctic to the Mediterranean. The capacity to reconfigure biplanes for different missions without extensive modification was a key reason for their continued use well into the war. Beyond their physical performance, biplanes had a significant psychological effect on both friendly and enemy forces. To Allied troops, the presence of familiar biplanes symbolized support and reliability. Many soldiers viewed them as comforting, low-flying protectors during battle. Conversely, for enemies, the sight, or even sound, of certain biplanes inspired fear. The Night Witches, for example, became a nightmare for German soldiers who dreaded their silent nighttime raids. The fact that such old-fashioned aircraft could inflict real damage demoralized technologically superior enemies. This psychological dimension of warfare made biplanes an unexpected yet powerful tool for maintaining morale and spreading fear. While the main battles of World War II were fought with advanced aircraft, biplanes remained dominant in secondary theaters, such as Africa, the Middle East, and the Arctic. In these areas, conditions often prevented the use of modern aircraft. Runways were short, weather unpredictable, and maintenance facilities scarce. Biplanes thrived under such conditions. The Gloucester Gladiator, for instance, fought effectively in the defense of Malta and the Norwegian campaign. These aircraft could take off and land almost anywhere, giving them a major advantage in these rugged regions. Their success in secondary theaters proved that effectiveness depended not just on technology, but also on adaptability and environment. Biplanes also played a vital role in training new pilots. Because of their forgiving flight characteristics, they were ideal for teaching the fundamentals of aviation. Aircraft such as the de Havilland Tiger Moth trained thousands of Allied pilots during the war. Their slower speeds and responsive controls allowed students to learn the basics of takeoff, landing, and aerial maneuvers safely. The low operating costs and easy maintenance of these aircraft made them perfect for flight schools. By preparing competent pilots for advanced monoplane fighters, biplanes indirectly contributed to the overall effectiveness of air forces during the conflict. Biplanes were much cheaper to build than modern monoplanes, which made them an economical choice for many countries. Their wooden frames required fewer strategic materials like aluminum and steel, resources that were often in short supply. This affordability meant that even smaller or resource-limited nations could maintain functioning air forces. Additionally, their simple manufacturing process allowed for rapid production and replacement. In wartime economies, where every resource was stretched thin, biplanes provided an efficient balance between performance and cost. This production advantage ensured that biplanes remained operational even when advanced aircraft were scarce. Despite their outdated design, biplanes were surprisingly resilient in combat. Their flexible wooden frames could absorb damage better than metal aircraft, which often cracked under stress. Many biplanes were able to return to base with bullet holes or torn fabric, only to be repaired and flown again within hours. Their low speed sometimes even worked to their advantage, as faster enemy aircraft found it difficult to aim accurately. This combination of durability and ease of repair meant that biplanes often survived encounters that would have destroyed more modern planes. Such endurance made them valuable assets throughout prolonged campaigns. Several iconic biplanes achieved legendary status during the war. The British Fairey Swordfish famously crippled the Italian fleet at Taranto and helped sink the Bismarck. The Soviet Po-2 carried out over 24-0 sorties during the war, often at night. The Italian Fiat CR-42, one of the last operational biplane fighters, performed admirably in North Africa. These success stories highlight the adaptability and effectiveness of biplanes despite the odds. Each of these aircraft proved that innovation wasn't only about new technology, it was also about clever tactics and the right use of available resources. In conclusion, biplanes remained effective during World War II because they filled roles that faster, heavier aircraft could not. Their simplicity, maneuverability, and versatility made them invaluable for reconnaissance, naval attacks, training, and night operations. They symbolized practicality and ingenuity during a time of rapid technological change. Although the war marked the end of the biplane era, their contributions left a lasting legacy in aviation history. The success of aircraft like the Swordfish and Po-2 proved that even outdated technology, when used wisely, could achieve extraordinary results. Biplanes were not just relics of the past. They were instruments of victory in one of history's greatest conflicts.